All right then. So, where do we begin? Tell me. Um, I know it's Monday, so I'm supposed to go first.
Yeah.
Okay. The first
And it
thing I
sounds
want.
like
Pardon?
it sounds like you are hesitant to do that. So
No,
but
no, I'm not. I'm fine.
okay, good.
So the
Good.
first thing I want to talk about is the fact that we're in April. So we're rotating. The rotation begins.
Oh,
The rotation of
For posting. For posting in the
okay.
for posting in the gallery.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So here's the question: do we just stick with the days forever till eternity, or do we rotate?
I think we should rotate.
We should rotate. Okay.
The reason being that different days get a bit different amounts of viewing. So
Okay. All right. So I think we should go forward.
Okay.
So if we're going forward, then today is my day, Monday. Okay, no, we'll start with Allison. So Allison, it's Tuesday for you
yeah,
for the month of April. Beata, it's Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
Thursday will be the free for all day. I keep on forgetting about that one.
and I still haven't spoken to her. In fact, I'll drop her another note now. So this is
Yeah,
crazy.
so it's posting. I always forget. And so Marianne, no, D will be
Friday.
Thursday. D will be Thursday, Marianne Friday.
Well, that's what it has been.
Oh, no. Okay, mistake. Allison Tuesday, Beata Wednesday, Thursday free for all. D Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, D Friday, Marianne Saturday, Michelle Sunday, me Monday. So we're just moving one day ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So are we all?
Yeah. This is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Are we intending to move it each and every month?
Yes, just so that
is
mm-hmm.
Okay. Because there's some days of the week would not work for me.
Okay.
FYI, just
you can,
I guess I can prepare it the day before.
And you can schedule
and then just
can schedule a post.
Okay.
You can post on a certain day and then schedule it for. I'm sure you've noticed that when you're posting, it asks you whether you want to schedule it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can schedule ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do I have? I have a lot to share, but I can't remember. But the first thing I want to share is this wasn't a webinar. It was a preview of a course. I think that's the trend now because webinars are not enough to grasp our attention. So what this person did was she created a 1-week course where she, it was just like a course really. And obviously from the middle to the end, she sold the actual course, but she just gave us a taste of what was to come. But I have to say, I was very impressed with her presence in the conversation and with the content, obviously. So what I wanted to share from that was, we've heard all these things before. I will just say that, but different people say these things differently, and I happen to hear them differently, So she talked about, and yes, she's for coaches, consultants, but she's an artist. She's actually an art historian. She says she, towards her last semester or something, she told herself she would never be one of the greats. So instead of pursuing fine art for what it is, she decided to pursue art history. And so she's always been in the company of artists, and that was what drew me to her, you know. So this is the one thing she said, which I found to be very compelling. She said, when you have a product or a service, and possibly this is why we had to get into the story, get into who our ideal client is. But she said, when you have a product or a service and your conviction is so strong that this product or service is really, really, really going to impact somebody's life, selling isn't hard anymore.
Okay.
You know, and I've heard a million things, but I don't think I've really heard it said in that way. She talked about herself. She said she knows, so her whole thing is about branding, creating a personal brand and positioning yourself as an expert. And she said for herself, her conviction was so strong and she was so passionate about what she did because she was the person who was on the other side and was struggling with the same thing, right? And now she's crossed over to this side where she's figured certain things out. And now she's had all these clients and she's seeing the impact her work has had. And so it's become a driving force in and of itself, where she cannot help but share her work because she knows the impact that it will have on people. So I found it to be a very compelling. I found it to be a very compelling conversation because I know for myself when I'm posting my art and things, in my mind it's like, oh, you know, who's going to like it? You know, who's going to want it? And I wonder how I would feel if I was able to move from that place of, oh, who's going to buy my art, to a place of, I know that if somebody buys my art, they're going to be whatever, you know. So I really wanted to share that with us.
What's the name of this person you've been watching?
Her name is Esther de Saint-Germain de Salon de Saint-Germain. I'll post her link. I know.
I won't bother to write it down.
I know. And that was one of the things she talked about. She talked about the fact that she used to hate her name. You know, but one of the things in her teaching is that you have to stand out, and where it's a sea of people. And one of the things in the mini course was to, okay, so her brand is all about wonderfully weird people, right? Which, you know, was fascinating. And one of the things she taught was to list all your quirks, you know, in your bio, etc., because these are the things that are going to make you memorable. And these are the things that will make you stand out in the sea of sameness and dullness. You know? So she talks about how she used to be embarrassed with her name because it was so long, but now it's her calling card. So, so yes, I really wanted to share that because to move from a place of, oh, who's going to love my art, to a place of, I know if my art falls in the hands of the right person, they're going to be inspired, they're going to be impacted, they're going to be all of, you know, whatever our thing is, which obviously leads us back to our stories. So I just thought it was something we should really think about. Anything to get us to that place of conviction. Because once you get to that place of conviction, the passion just takes over and you can't help but share your work. you know. So that's one of the things I wanted to share. I went to the art show on Saturday. I realized I had never been to an art show. I've been to galleries, I've been to gallery openings, I've been to trade shows, but I realized I had never really gone to an art show. So it was wonderful. I talked to almost every one of them, one of the artists. I was like, these are my people. It was just lovely, and even the energy walking into the space, the energy was different. I've never experienced that. It was this light and joyful energy. And I went with my husband and my son, and it's not that my husband has been skeptical, but he hasn't witnessed any success from my art yet. So it is what it is. But I was so amused and happy to see him asking artists questions and really getting into it. And by the time we left, he was like, "You have to be in the show in September."
Oh, right. So he was engaged.
Very
That's
engaged.
great.
Very engaged.
That is
So
terrific.
I asked all the questions. I went to the front desk. I asked every single question there was to ask. I got all the answers I wanted. So yes, I'm going to pursue this with all my might.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
How many pieces will you? What is it like? Do you have to provide your own booth, or do you have?
Yes. So they have
Yeah.
they have different sizes of booths. So obviously
so you can sit from them.
Yes, you choose
Okay.
you choose the size you want, and that will determine how many pieces. But I don't know if any of you have seen my stories. I met an artist who I've been following for years. She's all the way in Australia, and
Wow.
I know her well. She was one of the very first artists who did the pouring technique with the resin. This was like way back in 2012 or 2011. But not only is she an artist, she also has a gallery. And the gallery is also an interior design space. So the reason why I followed her was because I really liked her business model. But in addition to that, her son has this terrible illness, like terrible disease. He's had over 50 surgeries since he was born. He's about 16 now. And so I know her well and her story. And it was just so wonderful to go to her and say, "I know you. I've been following you this whole time, and your son." And it was just lovely. And yeah, I really enjoyed the experience. So I'm looking forward to joining the Saatchi family.
Good.
Yeah.
You'll be in their stable.
Yes, and the consultant gave me one piece of advice, which I thought was, good. She said the curators visited the new works once a week on the Saatchi website. And so if I was going to start uploading my art to the website, she would advise me to upload only one piece a week.
Oh.
Because when you upload a lot, knowing that the curators look at new works only once a week, it's easy to get lost in the crowd. But if you consistently upload one a week, there's something about that which makes them take notice, or you instead of them being overwhelmed with too many pieces or whatever. So I thought that was good advice. And
means you have to have 52 pieces ready to go up there, doesn't it?
No, that's not her point. She was just saying don't post all 10 on one day, like one at a time, so that they can take their time and get to know you. And so that was it.
I will say, just to jump in here, I, as you all know, signed up for Saatchi probably about October, November last year,
Oh,
and most people couldn't even see me on there. And then this week, all of a sudden, 3 of my pieces have been sent to me on a round robin email
oh
from
wow.
Saatchi.
Oh
So it's
wow.
taken
Ah,
all of that time.
Wow. Okay. That's it. Well, up until this week, it obviously wasn't encouraging, but this 1 week has made it encouraging.
Mm.
You know. We have nothing to lose because
No,
I don't think there's not a listing fee. I used to think there was a listing fee.
no,
There's no listing fee,
no.
and they take 35%.
Yeah.
So you just need to mark it up and have that price consistent.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like being in a gallery.
Yeah.
So they take 35% on the website, but they take 15% at the show, which,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
it was,
very
Yeah,
reasonable.
that's
Well, you paid for the stand, haven't you? So
yes, so it makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense.
Do you
how
have
much
any
are they
idea
charging
what the
for the
different?
stand?
Yeah. Do you know what the different booths run?
It ranges from, it's a 16 by, so the smallest is 16 feet by something, and the biggest I think was 32, and 16 was like 1600, and then it goes up to 3500.
Gosh, that is
Okay.
expensive. That's more than I pay.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually a show here that goes on a month outdoors and just before Christmas where they have to pay $10,000 to $12,000 per
Wow.
booth.
Wow.
I know. It's in front of the American Art Museum here, but my colleagues, the people that do it, and they're mostly crafts. I don't think painters do well there. But they usually earn half of their annual income by participating. So for them, it's well worth it.
Mhm.
But they're out there in freezing cold for 31 days. You don't want to miss a day because you could,
never know.
miss that one in a million client.
Yeah,
So
you never know.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was interesting. Some people like Martine, who I just talked about, she was selling like crazy. There were red dots everywhere, and
Wow.
some, it was a mixture. But there was one artist who told me she had turned this into her full-time job because she traveled to every single show. So
Whoa.
the next,
She got into every single show. That's
yes,
pretty
that's
remarkable.
so
Let me know
sweet.
her name and I'll look for her on this end.
Okay. I talked to so many people, but I have their cards, so I'm sure once I see her art, I'll remember who she was. But it was fascinating to know that this was, even though she was selling online, this was her lifestyle, where she used this opportunity to travel the world. I thought that was very cool. And even Martine, she came all the way from Australia.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, that was the show. And then the last thing I have to share was I got an email from Michael's asking, it's the usual list email asking for teachers. So I applied. And I think they've accepted me because they sent me a link to get onto their payroll. So I think so.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
That sounds pretty
So
for you.
Yeah, I think it'll be, to be part of the community here. It would be a big deal to be able to teach.
And what you have to do then is when you start making those contacts through your teaching, make sure you
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes.
2 ladies that I taught last year at the library are coming on Wednesday to a printmaking class.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be a good beginning to now continue to look for opportunities. But what I have to say about that, which is about the journey, I was sick. It was last Sunday, and I was just on my phone checking my email, and the email came through. And there was nothing in me which felt like, oh, I need to prepare or I need to, like, I just filled the form. I put in the, the samples. I linked it to my like, I feel like I've done so much work, to get to this place of just being able to click. If I hadn't done all the work I've done up until now, I wouldn't have been able to confidently just apply to this. So I guess it's just a reminder that it's a journey. So I'm done. Thank you.
Well, thanks for all the interesting information today.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. Welcome. And I'll post Esther's link in our group. All right. So Michelle, it's your turn.
Well, we are in jury week, and I was gone this weekend, so I missed receiving. We had never before had receiving on a Sunday. And out of the 41 people coming in with their work, 30 came in yesterday. So I guess of all the days to miss, it shouldn't have been yesterday because they were inundated. And we couldn't take possession of the studio where we hold our jurying until 6 p.m. last night. So they were a little stressed, but it looks like they did an incredible job. So I was up there, and then a friend came by, and he had picked up a friend at the airport, and his mother had passed away. And he's a dear friend of mine. We've known one another 12 years. And so that was really hard because it was completely, I mean, she's 94 years old, so she wasn't going to live forever, but she was feisty. Oh my God. And she just was still independently living, and she had lost her husband 2 years ago, who was 10 years older than she. So, yeah.
My gosh.
They're made out of good genes.
Wow.
But she did pass. And the irony is she had gone into the hospital apparently on Friday with a perforated colon, and it was misdiagnosed. They took her home. And then she had to go back yesterday and died like 1 minute before April Fool's Day. We think that it should have happened on April Fool's Day, but anyway, so that's kind of sad. So, but it's a reminder, and only one crack. So you better damn well make it a good one. And, I spent the weekend with friends that I've known 30 years, so that was lovely. And I've come back to now I need to do some spring cleaning in my studio, but it went from on Saturday, it was something like 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and today it's 33.
Oh.
And people don't believe in global warming.
No.
Yeah, no, really. I've got my winter coat back and my gloves, and Saturday was running around in sandals. So
Wow,
it's crazy. But I need to hang up all the work that now that I haven't looked at the photos yet of the new work, but I'll have things to post, which is good. Good, better quality things to post. I have absolutely no confidence in my iPhone photography, and but nothing more to report. And if you like, I could take you upstairs and preview you around the jury room what it looks like when we set up.
Yeah,
but it's probably locked up. It's probably locked up right now because we were only doing receiving until noon, and tomorrow the jury starts. So we have 3 people coming in, 3 jurors to come in and evaluate 2-dimensional work. And what we do is we assign them a scribe, and everything's confidential. All of them mark the cards, their jury cards, with the candidate's number. And we score them, or the jurors score them either 1, 2, or 4, or 5. And then And then they all score independently. No one can see one another's score. And then what ends up happening is in the afternoon, they come back after having a lunch. They come back, they sit in a row, and the jury chair will say, juror number 1, you gave this person a 2, juror 3, you gave her 4, you get juror, we don't know he or her, she or he, rather. And you know, and they discuss why they gave the score that they did, and it's always you know, it's always an education. I've learned a lot, and I'm jury chair for 5 years, and that time I remained on the committee and doing what I need to do. But and then on Wednesday we'll be doing the same thing for 3-dimensional work. Friday they all learn meeting as soon as scores are tallied, whether they got in or didn't. And on Thursday, they all come to pick up, where they're getting congratulatory letter and invitation to the reception and their show and their information packet, or they get a rejection letter. Try next year. We're always so upbeat. But yeah, but it's a lot of work. And in the past, because the first step is jurying online. And we had 2 jurors that looked at all their work online. And we culled the list from, I think, 16 to 41. But anyway, we used to have all those people come in. And then we even used to have more candidates because we were in control of the studio space. Now we aren't. And people are still applying, which is kind of good, you know, but yeah.
That's
That's it. I don't really have anything to share. Anybody, whoever wants to know how a jury...
Oops, we've lost you.
Yeah.
Are you lost me?
Yeah, you're going in and out just a little bit.
Okay. I'll try not to move. Is that better?
That's good.
Yes. Okay, I'm done.
No, but this is good to know because I'm sure a number of you have entered jury shows. I haven't.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to know how it all works, and you know.
Well, this is a system. Yeah, each organization has their own system, but this was a system modeled, I think, on the American Craft Council.
Okay.
And the challenge with looking at so much work is, you know, especially for 3D, because usually for 2D we try to get because we might have curators, we might have educators, we might have artists down in their field, and those are the people. They're all credentialed. And on the 2D side, we try to have a photographer, painter, and printmaker. But on the 3D side, that's where it gets a little tricky, you know, because you have clay, fiber, metal, sculpture. I mean, there are so many different specialties that kind of look at the pool of applicants and see and then try to select our jurors, knowing what that particular group might be. But it's a guess. So we usually try to get our jurors even before to our entries goes out. You know, we use Cafe. Yeah, but that's how we do it. Other organizations have how to do it.
Okay. So do you go by the usual composition elements and principles of design? Like what?
Well, we ourselves are not the jurors. It's completely independent. So nobody can say that we're jurying our friends into our community. It's completely independent. And they will discuss why they like a piece or not. And usually it boils down to either poor execution, not enough thought, too much sameness. What type of statement are they making? Is it expressive of the artist? I mean, is it unique? Is it they haven't seen before? Is it? But each jury panel is different, and the dynamics of how the three work together is always good. So the jury committee, after it's all done, we sit and each juror a grade. And because we can never assemble the same panel, and we don't call anybody back within 5 years.
Oh,
Wow.
But because one of the jurors dropped out, and she's supposed to be here tomorrow, we're scrambling to find somebody to take her place. And because it's really important to have that balance of three.
yeah.
There are occasions. One year, our jurors went out to lunch and they came back drunk.
Oh no.
And you kind of,
Oh no.
and that was not.
What does that?
You're like, look, I know. They got very glib. Well, not one of them. One of them was very judgmental of the other two, but the other two were just. And I go, why did? Yeah, exactly. And then one year, people play politics and press their issue, but we don't have a high tolerance for that, you know. So they don't ever get back. Let's put it that way.
Sounds like fun.
And one time, one of the jurors, this was long before I was on the jury panel, but we had this institutional knowledge. And one time we had somebody come in who taught ceramics, and one particular artist who had applied, because everything's anonymous. All they have is their work. They see other work that they bring in. They see up to 20 other pieces of work that are on a hard drive. And read the process, but that's it. We all identifying elements have been removed from the application, and if somebody's signature is too prominent, we cover it up. But we've had people before. In any event, we said to a juror, it's a small community, you're going to probably recognize one another, some people's work. If you do, and you do not feel you can evaluate this person without a certain mindset, then please recuse yourself. And we trust them to honor that. Well, we had a ceramics professor come in, and I think she taught American. I don't know. Now it's renowned. She in museums, something else, but she all work that doesn't make it to a certain score isn't considered in the afternoon. The work that is not qualified gets pushed, out of the sight lines. And this juror came back after lunch and said, "Where is this other person's work? I don't see it." And, well, they didn't have score high enough to make it to the second round. And she goes, well, and so she worked on convincing the other two to bring the work, and she was ceramics expert. So they brought back the work, which is don't do that. And they brought back the work, and they were convinced that they should let this person in. And I to this day don't know who it is, so that's okay. And in the end of the day, when she was given her check, because we pay them about $300 a day to do this, and given a check, this person was one of my students.
Oh.
And that's the ethical, that is so not okay. So this woman has been blackballed. She will never be allowed to be a juror as long as anybody with institutional memory knows that. But unfortunately, yeah.
Interesting.
So totally unethical. Yeah. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Allison.
Oh, my
Or
turn.
no, it's not Allison. It's Mary.
It's Mary.
Wow. Well, that was educational. Thank you for
It was.
all those
Oh,
details.
you're welcome.
I haven't done a lot of entering of shows, but then again, I probably wasn't up to where I needed to be doing it anyways.
Yeah.
So, Allison and I had a nice talk on Friday. We thought we were on a call all by ourselves.
I'm
we were
sorry.
looking for you.
I'm
I tried to
traveling to
find
the
you, but
Eastern Shore.
Hey, you're forgiven. Well, basically, I'm getting closer to the show, and I'm finding that, as usual, I take care of whatever seems to be the thing I'm most driven to do in the moment.
Yeah.
So I was starting to hang the second room of 3, and what I found was when I started to put some older pieces up beside each other, I couldn't help myself but think, that painting just needs a mark right there, or just to be a little bit better. I mean, these paintings have been around for like 2 years.
And you
I thought, okay,
photographed
what's it?
them?
Oh, they've already been photographed, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And all I
know
could think
that.
of was, I could really use the money. I wonder if it would make a difference if I put more marks. So what I did was I spent Saturday night on 3 or 4 paintings that were completed a while back and did more to them. They will all really look good in the same space together now, that's for sure, because the energy's all been sort of connected with them.
Mhm.
But, the photos will not represent. And I thought, does it matter? I guess it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
So I'll be a lot happier hanging them, because they'll all feel a little bit more like a family.
Mm.
But
That noise.
somebody's rustling papers.
Oh, okay. It's my neighbor. I'll put it on.
Other than that, I have things pretty well under control. I still have a lot to do, but I feel a lot better than I have years before. The biggest trick this week will be to get a YouTube video up with a slideshow, because that's what I've decided I will do on my website. That's one of the first options you can put something in place. As I told Allison on Friday, I don't usually make decisions in the most practical ways. I tend to jump for things, and that's what I did with GoDaddy 3 years ago. Well, I was back on GoDaddy about 10 days ago looking at what their current offering is, and they're offering a new combination of things under the heading of Go Central. And Go Central looks so much cleaner and neater, and like GoDaddy had gone back and realized that people were marking them as not a good choice. And they went back to make some adjustments to that. So I see a better product sitting there. So I jumped in again, and I put the last year of my contract toward Go Central, and signed up for 2 more years beyond that in order to get a good deal. And it's costing me now about $18.50 a month for this offering, which is not bad.
No.
But I did not yet look into what email campaigns and things like that will add on to it, because I think they probably charge by how many of those you send out. But they're offering that, and they're offering the blogs and the videos and everything. The reason they call it Go Central is because you can manage your other sites where your things are selling from Go Central, which means if you're on eBay or Amazon or Etsy, or I'm not sure about Saatchi, but you can manage those things from the Go Central website, changing you have connection information you have to put in place, which I've not yet don't know how to do. But anyways, it seemed to me like it was a decent offering from them, so I'm staying put, and I'm really hoping to have something elementary up before Friday. Found an old photograph from a few years back that I thought was a real nice one, so all you see is this one photograph of me in my studio. It's got the right, I guess to me it gives the right impression immediately. It's the kind of way I would like people to see me. So, so far so good with that. But I'm in good shape as far as the week goes. I really do expect to be, at ease on Friday. At least one would
it's
hope.
Friday. Wow.
Well, it starts Saturday and Sunday, but I don't plan to be up in the middle of the night this time. I really feel I will be in control of what has to happen. And I actually got my back porch area all cleaned, which this is the first time since the very first one 8 years ago. I had not gone to the trouble to prepare this area because I didn't have time. So I've got all my all my furniture and plants and everything is prepared so that my closer friends will head back there with glasses of wine and smoke, because they all smoke cigars, except me. But these are all the guys, and they will. And my boyfriend will be there this time, and he will make sure everybody's got food and drink, and so I don't have to think about that. But they will come by, and I think it's in good order. Sounds like the weather's going to be decent. So
on Friday, you have to give us a tour.
A tour. Okay.
But yeah, you could video it and put it on the group.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I thought, Saturday too might be a good time to do it when I have a few people in the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a few pictures too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you need to have that on your website, because that just says, look at me, I'm successful.
Yes. I'm actually active. And I've been giving booklets out, the map booklets that we now have to hand out. I went to an event last night and I took a purse full of the booklets and had an opportunity to put them in the hands of a number of people as we got into that conversation. So that's good. I mean, I feel a lot better about actually speaking up about it this time than I have in the past. I've got a very simple Facebook ad running. I uploaded the app to manage that. Now, I don't know what all you've learned about it, Allison, since then, but I know that there are these apps for managing your business advertising. Manager. So
I've
got one of those up, and I guess I'm in the first stages of understanding all of that and how to pick your audience. And
okay, was it very targeted towards your area?
Yeah, I've got it for 20 miles out.
Okay.
And that I've covered some of the wealthier areas. I've moved the circle to cover and make sure I was catching some of the wealthy areas around town.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's always fun. I feel confident.
That's exciting. Exciting.
All right, well, that's all I've got for now.
Okay. Well, thank you. And yes, please give us a tour. And you're thinking about creating a video for YouTube. I know that these apps, and I don't want to add to your troubles, but there are these. I'll do some research. Just a simple app or software to help you create a beautiful video. You know, whether it's actual video or stills, like photographs to create the video. So
yeah, I was working with a slideshow idea, and then I realized after that I needed to be concerned about the size of the images and the ratio. They wanted you to pick certain ratios so that you would read well, I guess, on the phone in particular. So I thought I'm gonna have to stop and go back, because I almost had that done last week.
Okay.
And I thought I have to go back and go over those details so this thing runs well like it should, and doesn't slow everything down and people don't, I gotta get out of here, leave.
One of the apps, Animoto, it actually lets you format the same video, but according to the device that you want it to be on. Or so, for example, for Instagram, it'll make it a square.
Right.
And then for YouTube or something, it'll be landscape, and then for your stories it'll be portrait. So that's one app.
One of the things I have, I've got an Android phone, so I'm going to have to pick whatever I pick from that.
I keep on forgetting that.
Yeah, I'm getting ready. In the next few weeks I'll probably purchase a new laptop, and again, because my sweetheart is into PCs, I dare not make the jump to Apple, because he would be unwilling to work with me if I do that. So.
Okay. All right. Well, keep us posted.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Beata, it's your turn.
My turn. So I only did technical things during the last week. So that was my son's birthday, so I was into his parties organization. And
When was your
besides,
son's birthday?
on Saturday, the same
Oh,
day
okay.
as so happy birthday, Michelle.
Oh, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. I went to Facebook and realized I had missed your
Yeah,
birthday.
they have
Yeah.
they
My
have their
son's
birthday.
birthday was on Thursday. That's why I wanted to know when
Yeah,
yours was.
they are very close. And I ordered my new canvases, and I ordered an unstretched canvas 80 by 80 inches, so that's going to be bigger than my usual ones.
Wow.
Wow.
And I will try an unstretched canvas. I really wanted to do that.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I need to check.
Mm, that's exciting.
Yeah, that will be exciting.
Did you order them unstretched or stretched?
Unstretched, unstretched.
Unstretched. Okay. So
Yes.
that'll be easier to manage. Okay.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to work on the floor. I will see.
Oh,
At
okay.
least I'm going to start on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Then see how it goes.
Yeah. You should take pictures of yourself, the whole process. It'll be fun to
Okay.
share. Hmm.
I will. And I also ordered winter garden. I've been planning it for so long. But now I discussed and finalized, and I ordered it, so it will be ready in 3-4 weeks. So I will use it as a studio.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
So
exciting.
would be good. Yes. And that's it for me. Nothing more.
So is this all in preparation for the shows?
Hmm. Uh, yes. So I didn't do too many things. I just ordered these canvases, and I also modified few of my abstract pieces. What I did. I was in the same mood as Marianne, so
Yeah.
I started changing them just a little bit,
Mm, that's so much fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
I have
And
to
I,
say, at the show, abstracts were the majority. Um,
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the majority of the paintings were. So
Oh,
just
that's interesting because, but that was an antique and art show what I visited, but there were only a few abstract pieces. The
oh, really?
majority of them, yeah, were old master style
Oh, really?
paintings.
Okay.
Hmm.
At
Yeah.
this show, there was only one old master. Like I was on
Hmm.
the look. I wanted to see. There was only one,
Yeah.
and about 80% were abstracts.
Uh-huh.
And that's where the interest was. I realized I don't want to say it's trendy, but it
It
is.
is. It's fashion.
Yes.
It's what people are interested in. You know, it's what
I
people.
think as much people, we're so much more interested in the energy
Mm-hmm,
that's created when
Yeah.
someone does an abstract,
mm-hmm,
and I think that
Yes.
today people can relate to that more. It's more a mystery to them. It
mm-hmm,
Hmm.
engages.
mm-hmm.
You know?
It's true. I agree.
I think so. Yeah, so much depends on where you live because DC is relatively conservative
Mm-hmm.
tastes, and I noticed they have the 150 where each artist buys a small 10 by 10 block, and all of the ones that were representational or semi-representational sold.
Hmm.
The abstract ones didn't, and I would
Uh-huh.
say it was probably so. I guess it really. I mean, I think of LA as being a progressive. I mean, an
Mm-hmm.
abstract, and I think of Atlanta that way. I think of Houston that way. And I didn't know about Columbia. I didn't know, but DC is definitely not abstract. Definitely
Interesting.
not.
That's very interesting. So it's regional.
But it's quite a conservative place to live, though, isn't it?
It really is. Although, ironically, politically, it's left of center.
No, I
Much
mean
left of center.
with a small c. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Their aesthetics. Their
you will also get that whole thing of, you know, one woman buys her art and all her friends come around and like it, and then they all want one like it, and it's not. It's about what's fashionable in your area, and it's really sad to say that, but you know, they'll all be having that sort of purple hazy colour on the walls, and they want purple cushions, and they want silver lilies. I mean, it is what it is.
I would say in my area is the little, well, it's both the big C and the little c, and not easy to get beyond that here. Fortunately, the art events pull out some of those people that like abstracts, but still the majority of the folks want something with, like you're saying, with something they can grab a hold of that they understand in there.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
I was at a beautiful gallery up in Asheville. Now, Asheville is supposed to be a very blue area in a red state. And there are lots of artists and lots of practitioners of all kinds of health, you know, things that are outside of the box. And the gallery that they have there that's the most successful has a mix of all. So they have to sell to all kinds of people. You know, it's a destination site. People come into town, you know, to view the art. So it's, we're quite a mix.
Yeah. You know, that's a good point, because Martine, the artist that I keep on, she said Sachi very intentionally asked her to come to LA. And now that I think about it, I see why. You know, I wasn't thinking about demographics, but it's true.
Yeah.
I can see how that works demographically. You know. Yeah, so yes. So Beata, I know you said the oligarchs like the large, the giants, abstract, so you want to make a lot of those.
Yeah, that would be great, but as a gallery has huge height, I thought that I would need at least one bigger piece. That's why I decided that I paint a bigger, and I would try 80 by 80.
Wow. I guess you've secured how you're going to move this, right, after it's stretched?
I won't stretch. I think I'm going to move it and stretch it only there.
Yeah.
That will be easier.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to?
Nothing more.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, Alison, it's your turn.
Hello, everybody. I've only got a tiny little list today. Tiny. First of all, Michelle, I'm really sad I missed you on Friday, because I wanted to ask your permission to use certain photographs, but in the end, I've stolen them.
You've stolen them? Beg pardon. What?
Oh.
Are you talking on? I haven't been on their page recently. Is there something there that I should take a look at?
You were my artist of the month this month on my blog.
Oh no!
Oh, I must read it.
Follow my blog. Go and follow my blog, everybody. Then that way I can get my numbers up.
I will go
there.
Blog.
Yeah.
Or what did you steal? Tell me.
Well, I don't remember now. They were just the photographs. Some of your photographs on your website, you can't actually download them. You've put a block on them.
Oh.
Sneaky.
Oh.
So I think I picked up stuff off the Torpedo Factory's website. In the end.
Okay. Okay.
So it's
Oh,
possibly
dear.
quite old, but I couldn't get hold of you, so I just had to go.
No. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, because I have all these new ones that I'm just downloading as we're talking. I'm trying to download them right now. 9 new paintings, and yeah, I want to see progress on the zip, but I can't resume. Let's see. Oh, server problem failed.
Uh-oh.
Oh well.
Hate when that happens.
When I do the follow-up interview, you can give me your updated pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is just a pain in the ass. This how he does this is just not good. I don't. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'll
So that's
okay, that'd be great.
The other thing is to say to both Michelle and Marianne.
Yes.
CBP, you do not need to worry that you've been on the list for them for all of this time, and that you're watching Nicholas on his Facebook page or anything like that. When they open up the thing to be able to buy onto the course, they will give me a code that I will give to you, and then you use that code. It doesn't matter. They've found that it honestly, it really doesn't matter. They realise that there are people who've been sitting watching for quite some time who have come from another place. That is why all these people charge $2,000. Because they know there's a whole bunch of people that are going to come in. There's going to be $1,000 or $500 that's going to go to somebody that's brought them in.
Do you know
That's
yet what that do you know what that amount is yet off the $2,000?
They haven't told me yet.
They won't tell you till the last minute, so they figure out just how much the deal they want to give.
Yeah, but we know that it was 1,000 with Alexis.
Oh wow!
I don't know what it would be with Nicholas.
Okay.
So, but don't panic. They have confirmed that it doesn't matter, that you could have been on his mailing list forever. It's the code that counts.
The link through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the other thing, and then I just need to ask this because I'm stupid. I know I'm stupid.
No, you aren't.
Well, I can't get my head around this. How do I, when I want to make, right, on my phone, I want to come up here and I want to do one of these stories here. You know, the ones on the top here?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do I do? What do I have to do?
You want to create, what do they call them, highlights?
Sorry, I've just seen something amazing. Oh, God, this is exciting. Do you know a guy called Professor Brian Cox? Have you heard of him in your country?
No.
He well, I can show you a picture of him. It's the guy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
He is. I know that he's worked in America an awful lot because he happened to be in the States when we lived there, and up at I can't remember what the name of the research centre was. But anyway, you know that I'm doing all these hearts. Charity. Well, he's there with Hannah, who's the girl who's my contact, and Rose. And then this heart is one of the hearts that's been made for it. So Professor Brian Cox, who is one of the country's, well, he's certainly the most notable or well-known people, is actually going down to see the hearts, and that's just really, really exciting.
Oh, of course.
Bravo.
Wonderful.
Of course. That's so exciting.
Let's get back to my problem about. So, what do I? Please tell me. I'm going to write it down. What do I have to do?
Let me help you. So, with the highlights, it's usually a theme or a collection of a collection of stories. So what you do is you go into your archives. Do you know how to get into your archives? Let me show you. So you
No.
go to your home page.
Yeah.
At the top left corner on top of your picture, there's something that looks like a clock.
Yeah.
Click on that, and it has archives of your posts and archives of your stories.
Okay.
So go into stories.
That's taking me back to the same page again.
No, it has to take you into the stories you've put. You've created stories, haven't you?
I have created stories before.
Yes, so it'll take you into the archive of all the stories you've created.
Okay.
Are you there?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, so once you're in there, if you want to create a collection, you click on one, right? And then when you click on the one, at the bottom, you'll see highlight with a heart.
Okay. Yeah.
And then when you click on highlight, it'll ask you whether you want to create a new collection or whether you want to add it to an existing collection. So in your case, it'll be a new collection.
So new, yeah.
So you name the collection, obviously, for whatever you want people to see in that particular collection. And then you click highlights on every single story that you want in that collection, and it'll go into that collection.
Okay, so that's for stories. What if I'm getting confused here. What if I want to take the photographs that I've taken of the heart and I want to just put the photographs up?
It has to become a story first.
Okay, so I've got to turn all of my pictures into stories.
Yes, it has to be a story first before you can create a collection of highlights.
Oh.
Okay, so so how do I go get my pictures to make them into stories?
So to create a story, so here, let me show you. So you go to the main page, and you know how to create a story. You click on the camera, the top left corner, and then you click on the camera, right?
Camera, where's the camera?
The icon here. It's the icon right on top of your image. It looks like a little camera. This is on the main, not on your main page, the main Instagram page. Your Instagram feed, where everybody else's stories are showing.
Okay. Okay, got that.
Okay, so you click on the camera. That's where you would usually take a picture. Now you look at the bottom left. There's a little square there. And when you click on that, it'll take you to all the photographs on your phone.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah.
So what I do is I create albums in my photographs.
Right.
You know about that, right? Okay. No, it's fine. No, please, no. So on your iPhone, in your photos, you can create albums. Have you done that before? Okay. No, don't. Well, look, we all learned this. No one was born knowing these things, So in your photos, when you go into your camera roll, right?
Right.
So
do I come out of all of this and go back into my camera?
Yeah, so X out of Instagram for a minute.
Okay.
Because I just want to make it easy. I want this to be easy for you.
Okay.
So go into your camera.
Yeah.
Into your photos. You go into camera roll.
Yeah.
At the top right corner, there's select. You see that?
With 3 circles.
So you go into your camera roll. Just go into your camera roll.
Okay, it's not easy to do that, but I know how to do that on my laptop, and then I can transfer it.
You need to do this on your phone, because the reason why is when you can create an album in your photographs. Let's say you want to create an album of only your hearts, right?
Yeah.
So you create that album in your photo album, and then now when you go to Instagram, instead of searching through all your photographs, you know, one heart here, one heart there, they're all going to be in one space.
Okay, I found out how to do it. I've got a very strange phone.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so are you in camera roll?
Yeah, I'm just gonna. So I can just go to all. Oh, excuse my language.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for goodness sake!
What's wrong?
It keeps opening them, and I don't want it to open them. I just want to.
Yes. Just go into camera roll.
I'm just trying to click on them. It's clicked on the first two.
No, don't click on any photographs.
I know. I just want it to tick them, but it won't tick them. Ah, here we go.
You have to click select. That's what I was leading you to.
Yeah,
it's after you click select that now you can select the photographs.
Oh,
that's what I'm trying to do, but my phone is just so ridiculous. It doesn't do what it's meant to do. Right, okay, got them.
So have you selected?
I'm going to copy them across.
No, so once you select, you don't need to copy. You select.
Yeah, no, I'm copying them into the album. I don't have an iPhone.
Oh, what phone do you have?
Oh, I don't. Oh, it's called an MI.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was an iPhone, but that's okay. I'm sure they're similar. It's not a big deal.
Okay. So now I have something called the Heart album.
Okay, wonderful. So now let's go back to Instagram. And I hope this is helpful for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, okay. So go back into Instagram. Click on the camera icon again.
Yeah.
Click on the bottom left, which will open all of your photographs.
Yeah, got it.
At the top, you'll see it says last 24 hours. Do you see that?
Yeah, no, I've got the Heart album, which is what I needed.
Okay, so you've been able to get in there directly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then you create the stories, and then once 24 hours have passed, they go into your archive. And then you now go into the archive and create the highlight.
Oh,
no, you've lost me.
Okay.
Okay, I've got the Heart album.
So you have to create stories with the Heart album.
Okay.
And as you know, stories run for 24 hours.
Right.
Are you clear with that?
Oh, shit. Okay, so sorry, I've got the Heart album up.
So you share them one by one. As
a story?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know how to do that.
Oh, you click, okay, here. So I'm going to do this with you. So you're in the Heart album. I'll go to one of my albums, favorites. Okay, so you create a story. You know, you click one, post. Click one, post. You create your story.
So it says here, send to.
You click. So once you click on the photograph, usually it'll show a date if it's not a photograph you took today. Is it showing a date?
No. Oh no, go away. All I've got is your story, close friends, or send to.
Yes, but is this showing a date? Because you usually don't want the date to show. So there's a way to just slide the date off the photograph.
I don't have any dates on it.
Okay, that's fine. So you click on your story and that's how it'll post. So click on your story.
Okay.
Have you clicked on it?
Yeah.
So it's posted.
Okay.
So all the photographs you want to, for the heart album, just create them as stories, right? You
Yeah.
can decide to write something. Do you know how to write on a photograph?
Yeah, I know how to do that, but what I don't understand is, so now if you were to click on me, there would be a story with one photograph, but I see you have loads.
No, this is so once you create a story, you know it runs for 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
So in 24 hours, it'll go into your archives and it won't show in your stories anymore. You know that part, right?
Yeah.
That is when you can now go into your archives and create an album of highlights.
So I have to do that for every single one, but I don't see you doing that.
Oh, that's what it doesn't show. That's exactly what I have to do.
Oh,
But how come you'll be able to see me doing it?
So, because all the stories which are in my highlights are stories I've been sharing since the beginning of time. All I've done is I've grouped them into albums.
well,
Okay.
Is that clear now?
Yeah, clear as mud.
clear.
I will try, but I have a feeling that I'm going to fail miserably.
No, and I'm here. If you need help, just Skype, send me a message.
Okay.
Call me.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I will carry on doing that all later then. What else have I got to say? Up against it with my degree. Feeling quite sick because I haven't done enough work, but I'm going to spend, I'm going to spend tomorrow doing it. It's got to be done tomorrow. That's it. Finished. What doesn't get done because I'm teaching on Wednesday. Two of the girls ladies who I picked up as students when I was at the library, they're coming with another lady to do screen printing. And then Thursday I have to finish the heart. And Friday I'm on a course, and Saturday I'm on a course.
What course are you on?
And happy belated Mother's Day. Belated Mother's Day. The English Mother's Day is yesterday.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
9 months
English
after
mothers.
Father's Day. Seriously, Mother's Day is 9 months after Father's Day.
Really?
Yeah.
They didn't think that one out here, but that doesn't.
Like, we should do it that way every day.
Yeah, I mean, Father's Day is the same in the States as here, but Mother's Day
is different. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
What's my course? You want to know what my courses are? Oh, actually, I've got it printed out. One of them is a screen printing course with a.
Okay.
She's a master screen printer.
Okay.
So I'm really, really looking forward to that. The other one is abstracts from your sketchbook. This lady is really, really worth looking up, even if you're not into print. Her name is Tessa Pearson, and what she does is she does screen printing, but it's mono printing on screen prints, and she does these huge flowers. And she's really, really known for these huge flowers, and they do look amazing. And she sells work all over the place. She also happens to be a very nice person. I've just recently
that's always a Benny.
Well, yeah, just recently bought a press off her, printing press, which I can't wait to get using. And I had a real problem this week with one woman who was just so rude and unpleasant. It was unreal. Yeah, there's always one, isn't there? It's because I'm the area coordinator for the Open Studios, and I'd emailed everybody out to say, there's a meeting, and I did it as an open email because I didn't have everybody's details and I wanted it to get to everybody. And in fact, one person's been missed, and she's written and complained today, and I've just had to apologise and say I'm really, really sorry. But this woman got upset because I'd sent it out as an open email, and she was just hateful. I mean, really, really rude.
Why?
You think, why don't people think before they start to email, or sit on the other side of a thank you very much, sit on the other side of a keyboard and spout all this nasty crap to other people? It's just unpleasant. Anyway, I phoned Tessa because she's also an area coordinator and said, what do you think I should do? And she was just amazing. She dropped everything to talk to me, and she didn't need to do that. I mean, she really is a professional, day-to-day working artist who teaches she does about 12 days a year is all she does in teaching. The rest of the time, she's making work. She's out there making money. So and trying to get on her courses is a nightmare because I think there's 4 of us on the printmaking, and there'll be 6 of us on the abstracts one. But yeah, I'm really, really excited.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. Can you post her link in the group?
Yeah, sure, will do. Yeah. Tessa, she's brilliant. So anyway, the bitch is what she's known as in this house. I had the laugh. I wrote to the organisers and told them what had happened, and I said, I'm not going to give you her name at this stage, but I just want you to know this has happened. And they've said any problems at all, let them know, and she will not be allowed to open with them again. She will be banned from opening. So,
all right.
Yeah, don't mess with me. Oh dear. I mean, there really is no need to be so spiteful. She said to me, if you can't do the job properly, you should never have taken it up in the first place. Hang on a minute. This is a voluntary position. How dare you? How do you think you are? Anyway, yeah. We're going to meet one, aren't you? She can do it next year. I'm just about to have 3,500 brochures, this size brochures, delivered to my house.
Whoa.
56 pages. And I have to sort them all out, hand them all out. And I've told her, don't come and collect.
How are you going to hand 3,000 brochures out?
Well, because what happens is there are 5 areas within the county of Surrey. And so I'm looking after the east area, and what they do is they bring all the brochures out in boxes of 70. So I'll get however many, I don't know, I can't do the math. And then what happens is these people that live in my zone have to come to my house, and they have to pick up all their marketing material. So it's the brochures, they get balloons, they get
there'll be people to distribute. Okay.
So I'm just like the distribution centre. Yeah.
Oh, all right, that makes sense.
But it's a bit, and then I had to organise the meeting. You got new people that come along, so you need to tell them things like, how to watch out for scammers, how to take money. You must be open, all the kinds of things that, if you've never done it before. I mean, one girl said, oh, well, that's it. I don't think I'm going to open now. She was terrified. And we just said, well, don't be frightened. Just be aware that worst case scenario, and this is true for Mary Ann. I mean, she's just about to open her home. There are some assholes out there. You have to be ready for them. You hide your money. I
don't even take cash. I just take credit cards or checks. So
I do take. Yeah,
I don't know that people would be carrying around the kind of money that take them to buy one of my paintings. I don't have anything tiny for sale.
Yes, I do. I sell cards, greetings cards.
I don't have anything small. I mean, they wouldn't be carrying cash, but it on.
Yeah. No, so I do greetings cards, which are £2 each. I don't know what that works out in dollars. Can't remember. But actually, I make a lot of money selling cards.
The cards.
I really do. So it's worth it. But it's a question of, you just have to remind people that whilst they might be honest, other people that are coming into your home aren't honest. I mean, we have a double garage. My show is in my double garage. They don't get to come inside the house. I had somebody come, not last year, but the year before, who said, can I look round your house? And I said, no. Why would you want to? He said, well, I'm only here because I want to see how the rich people live.
Oh,
seriously.
Well,
and he came. What was really funny was I used to do a private view on a Friday night. And then I thought, why am I doing this? Because I'm never ready on that first Saturday anyway. So why am I putting myself through this? what I'll do is I'll have like an open house with drinks and nibbles on the Sunday. This guy came on the Sunday and there was all these drinks and nibbles, and he got these napkins and he filled them full of food and put it in his rucksack, got on his bicycle.
Wow.
You know, I hate to say it, Allison, but we have in this place, we almost have a wanted poster, because there are these people that simply come to art openings to eat and drink, and they will stand in front of their food and they will double dip in the hummus. I want to throw this stuff away. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's really funny.
One of the most famous artists in our area, whose paintings sell for $5,000 to $15,000, for the 10 years ago and before that, used to joke every time he'd see me, and he joked like this with all artists, said, at the openings, which had always a buffet layout, said, "You came here for dinner, didn't you?" And I said, but he's laughing at all the artists, because knowing us and how we stretch just to get by, he knew that we all came to openings to eat and then talk to each other.
Oh, that's so funny.
Funny. Hi. Takes all sorts, doesn't it?
Yeah. I took the doors. Well, see, I live in a very small house, and I had a roommate for a short period of time 6 years ago, which was a hell of an eye-opener for me. I saged my house after this person left and did all kinds of rituals to get her devil spirit out of my home. And let's just say there were some doors removed while she was here because she locked stuff in rooms, and then accused me of wanting to steal her stuff, which couldn't have been further from the truth.
What?
So I had a friend come over and remove a door, and then when I realized how nice it was to have that door off, I took a few other doors off so that you could just walk openly through the house. Mm-hmm. So the only room I can close really is the bathroom and my bedroom, and my bedroom remains closed. No one ever sees back there, and if I have a TV or TVs or anything of importance, they get moved into that room.
Yeah.
During my opening, you don't see any equipment. You see no jewelry, you see nothing. So, people will ask me, "Do you live here?" And I say, "Yes, actually, I do live here." I do, but nothing that they would want to take except the paintings, which most people aren't there to steal those. Those things are out of sight.
Yeah. It has to be like that, unfortunately.
Yes,
I know another gentleman who opens his home, and literally every single room in his home, he hangs paintings. Even his downstairs, well, he lives on one level, so even his bathroom, he's got like just a single loo, toilet, got a water closet, whatever you call it in there, I can't remember.
A powder room. A powder room.
If
it has no...
But he gets all of his stuff, and he's got one of these really old-fashioned bank vault type safes. Huge, great thing with a big wheel on it, and he puts anything of any value in the safe. And
wow,
that's it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hi. So that's it then.
Okay. I have something funny to share about cards.
Cool.
So as I was going from artist to artist, I was picking everything there was to pick, because I'm going to create this album. And then I went to this one stall, and I was going to bend and pick what looked like postcards, because I thought they were. And they were actually her art, the size of a postcard, and they cost $500. I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, because I thought they were postcards. But yeah, that was just funny. So It just goes to show it's a big, beautiful world out there for all of us.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm taking my husband out to dinner tonight.
Oh,
there you go.
Lovely.
I figured it was time I treated him. Because he really did help me at that show a couple of weeks ago, which just took me a week to recover from. And I'm still trying to get stuff. I really got to that point. I know from next Monday, everything's going to be okay. getting
Me
to
too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Never mind.
well, okay. So have a wonderful week.
Yeah, and you.
Thank you.
And I'll give Camilla another. I'll
You too, guys. Good seeing you.
yeah. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Big things ahead.
Yes.
And keep on
Good
getting
luck.
better, Shirley.
Good luck.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right,
Take
take
care,
care.
everybody.
Take
Okay.
care.
Bye.
Bye.